Razor Sharp Studios, it's time for the Big Dog AC Show.
Big Dog AC Show, here we are.
Here we are.
We are actually sitting in the back room of Conversion Brewing in Lebanon, Oregon, where they brew all the beer and everything.
Yep.
We said earlier we were going to take this fucking show on the road, and we are doing that. Man, we appreciate Matt letting us come in here and do this. Don't be surprised now that there might be a guest or two just rolling through to get to their
supplies back there.
Yeah. So it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Snacks is milling around somewhere. He's snacking it up somewhere.
He's
Yeah.
eating on some of the delicious food. I think he got the steak bites.
Steak
right?
bites. Yeah.
And
yeah.
a pretzel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's out in the Strawberry Plaza.
Strawberry
That's right
Plaza.
next to here.
You want to come by and say hi to
outside.
Snacks? He's here. We just saw Bill, Brittany. Everybody's here. Everybody's here. Yeah.
We'll get Matt in here pretty soon. That's what this empty space is for.
Yeah, it's for
like
Matt.
At Barcidius, we had our poster, so now we have a chair. We're actually going to have somebody.
We may have had a ghost or two up there in Barcidius too.
I didn't. When I was looking at it, I didn't see anything. Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything. I didn't.
So
I
don't know.
I don't know.
But you just said you heard something here.
I heard something. I had the headphones on and I was kind of listening in, and somebody said, "Get the fuck out."
Oh, well, that's probably Matt.
That's right. Did he
They probably
Did he just
want us to get out of the way?
Did he yell through the door?
No, but we've seen a bunch of people because we said this is the first time we've been here, right?
Yeah.
We never come here, so we don't know anybody here.
No.
So we've just seen all these stalkers.
Yeah.
Come up and look out the window. I don't know if you can see. Is it on the video behind you, the door?
Yes, it is.
So there's windows.
No, there's no video at the door.
Oh, there's a door behind him.
There's a door behind you.
And there's a door there.
That's where they get their limes and all their stuff.
Yeah.
So they may charge through here. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. But anyways, we've had a bunch of people stop in, look in the window, and say hi and stuff already. So it's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. We do appreciate you listening, hanging out with us. We're going to get Matt in here, the owner of this operation, and talk about how he comes up with these ideas of this great beer. I'm having a Belfry right now, which is really, really good. What are you having, AC?
Fence Rider.
Fence Rider.
I'm having a Fence Rider.
Fence Rider, yeah. So it's really
good.
Really, really tasty. It's one of our hangouts. So we thought we'd come in here and do a show from here. So
yes.
Yeah.
And everyone's super nice. Of course, everywhere we go, people are nice. We're not going to talk shit.
No.
Say
no.
So everybody is nice. But when we say that, we really mean that they are nice here.
They are nice, yes.
And everybody is nice. So if they're not nice, I just don't say it.
Yeah. We just don't talk about
but
that.
Everybody's really nice and very welcoming. And
since
we've been coming in here for the past year, however long,
a couple of days, 3 months ago.
Yeah. So everyone's been very nice. And see, there's Brittany.
Brittany's right there. Yep.
So we're really excited.
Yeah.
To take this out on the road.
And
Brews Travelers.
Brittany's excited too. She's ready to come in here and talk.
Brittany's always excited.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I think she's always
Brews Travelers, Big Dog AC Show. This is stop number 2.
Stop number 2.
We have 2 or 3 more, and then we're going to take it outside of the realm of Lebanon, Oregon. Yeah.
Yes, we're staying
if you've never been to Lebanon, Oregon, you should come by and check it out. I think you should. Yes. I think you'd be astonished at how beautiful it is here. It really is beautiful. It's nice, small little town, 19,000 people. I mean,
Which actually, compared to other small towns in Oregon, this is actually a pretty big town.
It's pretty big.
Which I didn't realize until I've been out driving around, and I've gone to a town that literally has 320 people, I think.
Yeah.
And there's really no town.
I know you've called me and said there's nowhere to eat. There's nothing to do out here.
Almost every place has a McDonald's or a Dairy Queen. There's a lot of Dairy Queens.
No.
Nothing. There's no main street. But every place around here, no matter how small the town is, there is a saloon.
Well, you got to have a saloon.
Yes.
Just don't tell Mountain about the saloon.
Oh, I'm surprised I didn't see him sitting out there one time. It's how does he sniff it out?
He's sniffing them. They're sniffing out that restaurant.
Really, if it's not a brewery, it's a freaking saloon. And it's funny because you got to remember that these are logging towns, right?
Oh,
these are all these sprung up.
Oh, when you go to
right by the river,
Sweet Home, you smell the wood. You smell
the
lumber.
Wood.
You smell the wood. The
wood
lumber
smells good.
Yeah. Well, you've smelled plenty of wood.
Isn't that's how we're talking about? No. Okay.
Yeah.
The lumber.
The lumber.
Palumba.
Bigdog AC show, as you can
We're
tell.
already loose.
We're already.
We just started.
We're all loosened up and ready to go. Hey, we got Matt coming in, the owner of this establishment.
Yes.
He's going to talk how he brews his beer and what he's got coming up and all the other good stuff. So
whatever else we ask of him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're going to figure out all kinds of cool stuff. I've always wondered how you have an idea of what you want as a flavor of a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now we're going to find out.
You're going to ask.
Maybe.
We have the probing questions that we're going to.
And then after Matt, maybe Brittany will roll in here and sit down.
Who knows? We might just drag some other people.
Just grab some people in here. That's what we do. And Snacks is available.
Yeah, he's still there.
He's out there snacking it up somewhere, doing something.
He can tell us how the food is.
Yeah, he can.
I mean, we've had the food.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, we have.
Of course.
We usually order it and take it home when we're all slush and drink
Just imagine how good it must taste fresh.
Yeah, can you imagine?
And not 2 hours later after we've been drinking all night long.
Not being drunk and trying to eat the stuff. So.
But I am wearing my Bigdog AC show tank top.
Apparently everybody forgot that it was tonight because everybody here at Conversion has our shirt.
Yeah, they
and
do.
Nobody was wearing it.
And they always, any random time we walk in here, everybody has a shirt on. Everybody, because our poster's up. But people are always wearing our shirts.
Yeah.
So now we're here and they're like, oh.
It was tonight?
I forgot. It's like.
It was tonight? Yeah.
People.
Come on,
people.
Come on.
It was in the newspaper.
They're not.
It was online.
They're not getting a coffee mug. That's it. No coffee mug for them.
Damn it. Although Brittany has our sticker on her water bottle, so she did do that.
Yeah, and I think she stuck a bunch of them all over the building too.
That's
there you go. Brittany's crazy. Can't wait to get her in here. Maybe we can get her in here for a couple segments. So should be pretty interesting.
She is crazy.
Yep.
Brittany.
Bigdog AC show. When we come back, we're going to get the man, the myth, the legend in here to talk about how he brews his beer and the process of all that. If we can get him to talk about that. I don't know.
We'll see. No secrets, though. I'm sure. No corporate secrets.
Hey, this is the Big Dog
and AC
from the Big Dog and AC Show podcast. We talk rock and roll.
And don't forget horror movies.
You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts.
There's craziness and debauchery.
And no politics. Join the podcast now. Warning, explicit content.
Bigdog AC show. We are at Conversion Brewing in Lebanon, Oregon. If you haven't been here, you need to get your ass up here and hang out, man. This is a great place to hang out. The ambiance is awesome. The owner is awesome. He's actually in the studio with us right now. He's right here. Yeah, he's hanging out with us.
We said there was going to be somebody else here.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Going well. Yeah.
How's everything? How's business? Everything good? Rolling along? Yeah.
Summer's starting to tick, and it's getting exciting.
Yeah. So, does it get a little low, like in the holidays, or does it stay consistent? I mean,
the low we have would be like January, February, where everybody's trying to get over their nonstop hangovers from holidays, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just started your summertime hours too? Are you staying open later?
A little later. Yeah. We open an hour later in the summer. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool because then they get dark till like fucking 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we put lights out on the patio, and they come on when we're actually leaving now.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. When we moved up here, Pacific Northwest, we did not know how far north we were going to be.
Yes.
And it's so fucking light. Why is it still daytime?
Yeah, well,
I want to go to sleep.
Well, right off to the right of me here, Snacks is here. And Snacks is from California. And I call him. I said, "Is it dark down there?" He's all, "Yeah, Dad. It's not dark here.
Yeah.
No. It stays lighter longer up here. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have some burning questions here.
Geez.
Okay.
We've been talking about these
Matt
for 2
Cowarts.
weeks, Matt.
Yeah, I just wrote. Okay, when did you start brewing?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I started brewing. I can't remember the year off the top of my head, but it was. Actually, I should because my daughter was born.
That's a lot of beer. That's a lot of beer. A lot of beer drinking.
Well, 19 years ago then. Yeah.
19 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost 20. Yeah.
Snacks. How long ago was 19 years ago?
He was 7.
19 years.
19 years ago.
Oh boy.
I made myself laugh on that one. I
just security.
My second beer.
Security. Leave the security guy alone.
He was 8. All right. Well, how did you start brewing then? Not just when, but how did you start?
So my first time brewing ever, I actually brewed with my wife's uncle. We were over they all live in Central Oregon, which in the wintertime, Central Oregon is an interesting place to hang out because you get up in the morning and you say, how cold is it? And they say 1.
Jeez.
So, which
Ooh,
it does, it's so dry over there. It doesn't feel like it. Like you go out in the morning and grab firewood in your sweat or in your t-shirt. It doesn't feel that cold until you're out there for like an hour. And then you're like, hey, it's definitely cold over
you
here.
start feeling the numbing in your
But
mouth.
we were over there for a holiday, and he said, hey, I was thinking about brewing some beer. You want to brew with me? I'm like, yeah, sounds great. So we went to town, got stuff from the brew shop, and we did a brew on like the second day we were there. And I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And I always have read a lot of books, history books. And so I started reading history books about brewing and started like there wasn't recipes in the books, but there was like a description of what the flavor profile of these old beers were from overseas. And I thought, man, that would be great to try these. They just sound so interesting. And at that point in time, you searched, and there was no imports of any of that stuff, and none of the craft breweries that were here were making
He's right.
pale ales
right.
and like maybe a lager if you're lucky. Like they had really basic stuff, and it wasn't the stuff that I was reading about in the books. And I thought, okay, so I've got 3 little kids, and I'm just starting in my career. My chances of going to Europe to just drink beer is pretty low. So to be able to try this, I'm gonna have to make it myself. So that's so it went from me doing the one batch to, hey, I'm gonna start collecting recipes from these European beers, and we're gonna try making them ourselves.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool though.
So
you're like, screw everybody, I'm gonna make my own.
So when you get to that point
Pretty
though, of
much.
making your own, when you get to that point, Matt, and where's the idea come from? Are you sitting on your couch, watch TV or something, all of a sudden, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna do this, and then you have to make that process work all the way through the brewing process to get that flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, where does that come from? I know CJ is close to you, and you guys do some stuff together.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff together.
So where does that come from? You guys sitting there one day, hey, dude, I'm in the treehouse and I want to do this brew.
Right, I see this thing out here. Yeah, so I think it happens in 2 ways. A lot of my original recipes are beers that, there's beers that came from them that we still do, like Witness. That's a Bavarian Weiss beer, or Bavarian wheat beer, and it's a pretty simple beer, but it has a lot of flavor profile from specifically the yeast we use in it. And so a lot of them started with, hey, I read about this beer. It sounds neat. Nobody does it here. Let's try it. And so then we got to, I started getting to know the flavor profiles that come out of those beers. And so a lot of our beers are European inspired because they don't follow 100% to the European recipes. They're European beers with a twist usually. And one of the things that I learned really quickly was the yeast that you use in beer makes a huge difference. And people will talk about house flavors in brew houses.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
That is typically because a lot of breweries use one yeast. And so no matter the other ingredients you vary, that yeast contributes 30 to 70% of the flavor profile of your beer. So when you're talking about, like, on average, half the flavor profile, you can vary everything else and they all still kind of taste the same. So we use a lot of different beer yeasts here, just because there's no other way to vary the flavor profile enough for my taste.
Well, where do you get the flavor? I mean, you add, like, if you want strawberry, you add strawberries and do that kind of thing. I mean, where do you get that?
So in a strawberry celebration beer that we do for June, because it's Strawberry Town here.
Yeah, it is. Straight out.
So there's real strawberries in it. We use strawberry puree. And then there's other things that you can do that kind of tweak the flavor to either accentuate those flavors or add to it. There's a couple of hops that, if you read the flavor profile, one of the flavors that brewers pick out is strawberry. And it's usually like all this other fruitiness, but then they'll say, hey, I get a hint of strawberry here. So you can use those to try to accentuate the strawberry flavor. And sometimes it works and sometimes it actually doesn't. Sometimes it actually is like a detriment to it. Yeah. It may be strawberry, but it may not actually blend well with real strawberry. Right. So it's a lot of trial and error. And that's what, one of the things that I think, when you find a brewer that's really, really successful at what they're doing and they win a lot of awards or get a lot of accolades for their stuff, it's literally every time you brew something, you learn something new about the recipes, the techniques that you're using, and you just start adding to that toolbox. And so you're able to really quickly, as you move on, into your thousands of brews, be like, hey, I want to make this flavor profile, and I know I can do it this way.
So you identify with something, and you already know from your past that you can do that.
Right.
That way. Yeah.
And so like when we're doing recipe formulation, sometimes it's we're building on a flavor that we're looking for. Sometimes it's inspired by a flavor profile from an ingredient, or like a trip or something. And we're like, hey, we tried this, and I feel like that would work really well together in beer. How can we make that happen?
Yeah.
The way that I do recipe formulation is backwards from most brewers that I know. Most brewers will say we're gonna make a pale ale, and pale ales are based this way, and then we'll tweak it this much. I usually say, I want the beer to taste like this. What do I need to do backwards to make that happen? So I'm not focusing on the fact that it's a pale ale or that it's a wheat beer. I'm focusing on, this is what I want the end product to be. What are the building blocks that I need to get there?
So it's definitely a process.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You just don't. Do you stick your finger down in there when you're fermenting stuff?
Not my finger, but yeah, we do take samples all the time, and I'm one of the only brewers that I know that typically, if I take a sample, I'm going to taste it. I want to know what the product tastes like at every step of the way,
right?
So that if we do repeat that recipe, which we don't always repeat recipes, but
right.
if we do repeat that recipe, you know what it's supposed to taste like at this stage, and you know if something's wrong or something's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know your taste buds are already set.
Yep.
To understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm raising my hand because I have a question.
No questions from you,
well,
AC.
Well, we were talking about yeast.
Yeast.
And I was just going to ask, would any brewer, and this is probably a no, but would any brewer ever use like the wild yeast, like leave something open to have the wild yeast so you can get like sourdough?
Absolutely.
And then have that localized
terroir.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
it would. Yeah.
Well, Matt, hold on, Matt. Before you answer that,
Okay.
the reason she's asking that, she's a culinary pastry chef. She's got a degree.
Okay.
Up in San Francisco. She's always making stuff, and doing all this yeast and stuff, like crawling off the counter.
I'm making sourdough. That's why I'm asking.
That's crazy stuff. But she's asking about that because is it the same yeast that you guys do?
Thank you, Bigdog.
For sourdough, no. So there's about 170-ish verified brewer's yeasts. Okay. So the big difference between brewer's yeasts and like bread yeast is that they are certain strains typically, but there is a very specific environment like pH and sugar and like that will thrive in a wort, where is pre-fermented beer. And sometimes home brewers get a little bit overkill about how well they protect things. Like open fermentation used to be a really common thing. Like the top was not covered, was not protected, and they just made beer that way. And now like our tanks are all fully sealed. We're trying to protect it and make sure that only the yeast that we put in there gets in there. But the reality is, if you're not repitching yeast, you can make a really great beer in a trash can. Like, I mean, trash cans are made out of food grade plastic. You sanitize it, ferment beer in there with no lid, and you can make a great beer.
Snacks. We're making
don't they
beer
make wine
in a trash can.
Let's do it.
Wine in prison? I mean, don't they do
toilet wine? Yeah. So
I was just wondering because I know with sourdough you kind of want what's around,
right?
You want the local
the question, I've actually done that quite a few times before. The most successful yeast harvesting that I've gotten is from orchards. So in the fall, fruit typically have brewer's yeasts on them. And it may not be one that somebody's currently using, but they work really, really well. And I was doing it to try to get some funky, wild farmhouse beers, and not once did I ever end up with one.
Really?
Yeah, they were always really clean, really gorgeous, very fruity flavors in them. Apple, pear, peach, that kind of flavor coming out of the yeast.
Yeah.
And they were always just like, we just made a like really simple pale, no hop, like almost no hops in it, just so we could see, hey, what's going to happen here. And they always turned out great, which was not what the expectation was from what everybody always said. Oh yeah, you do an open fermentation beer, it's just going to be trash. Like, and they were great.
Years ago, obviously, they didn't have all these tanks. Right. So, I mean, they were doing it in the oak barrels and everything.
You can't see the tanks, they're over there.
They're behind it. I did take pictures and stuff.
So, Matt, I got to ask you a question, man. I know you ran out of one of the beers I like. There's a beer here I really like a lot of, and you ran out of it. And
And
Did I drink all that?
Possibly.
well, mine's gone too.
Yeah.
Although I have mine in cans.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm drinking a Belfry right now, and it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I was drinking before was really good too.
What was it
Fred-
called?
It was
Brethren.
Brethren.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are you bringing that back?
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll have a double IPA this summer. They just don't move very fast, and I like my
Right.
IPAs to be really, really fresh. So I'm not going to make an IPA that's not going to move fast in the summer.
Smart.
Yeah, so we'll bring back a double IPA in the fall.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And what are you drinking right
What
now,
do you
Matt?
got?
I'm drinking a beer that I actually made for myself. It's called Will Work for Beer.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, won't we all, right?
It is.
Won't we all?
Yep.
It is, and that's what I do here, basically. So
True.
there's an old saying: the easiest way to become a millionaire with a brewery is to start with $2 million.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
so every once in a while, I'll get a wild hair and say, "Hey, I haven't had one of these beers in a while, and I'm just gonna make a batch for myself. And if I have to drink the whole thing, so be it." So
darn. Darn.
So this is a classic saison. There's
I want to live
nothing
like
fancy about
that.
it.
I
Yeah.
want to live like that. I'm just gonna go make me a beer. I'll be in the garage. See you in a couple minutes.
All right, I do have a question.
Okay.
Oh, she wrote them down.
How did you come up with the name Conversion?
Conversion. That's an interesting story. It
Yeah.
actually has a double meaning.
Okay.
So the original reason why we chose conversion is when I was a home brewer, I brewed for probably 3 or 4 years in my house, and my wife was okay with that for a while. And as most hobbies with guys go, they kind of get out of control.
No.
And
Yeah.
No.
as
yeah.
the equipment grew and the how many times a month we were brewing grew, my wife finally was like, "You have a shop. I think you need to move to the
You
shop."
need to branch out.
Yeah.
Branch out.
So we ended up brewing the shop, and so the house we live at right now, I ended up with a 20 by 15 room that was walled off, like it was built as a brewery, with nice sanitary walls and everything,
Wow.
and had multiple cold rooms in it. Like it was pretty intense. And it was just because we brewed a lot, and I really like to brew, and turned out I like to brew more beer than I could actually personally drink. So
Yeah.
we had people come over all the time and be like, "Hey, I want to buy beer from you." And I'm like, "Hey, I can't sell you beer. That's like bootlegging and it's illegal.
Yeah.
You're welcome to throw some money in the pot so I can buy more grain and make more beer, though."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
So
I'll give you my number.
right, yeah. So and I was like, "Just come over, grab what you want,
Just
and
go. Yeah.
throw me some grain money, and we'll move on." So when we started working on it, all my friends drank Coors Light, I don't know,
Oh,
whatever
they-
light lager.
My brother's like, Coors Light treats me right. It's like
Yeah.
drinking water.
It is, which sometimes I will say, as a brewer, I can admit that there is a time and a place for a light lager, and I don't think that they'll ever be replaced. A lot of breweries do make them now, and like craft breweries, and their versions are most definitely better
Do you
than.
make a light lager?
Right now we have one on. Yeah,
No.
we have a Mexican lager on, which is a little step up from like a classic American light lager.
What's
but
percentage is that alcohol wise?
it's like 4.8.
Is
So,
that
yeah.
that's the one from Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Maximilian. Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are good.
that's the one we had. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about that already.
Yeah.
So as I was brewing these beers, and I'd take my friends to Brewfest, they'd be like, "Okay, dude, like, fine, I'll bite. Like, what's the deal? Why don't you want to drink Coors Light anymore? And what's with all this weird dark beer and amber beer?" And so one at a time, I'd start working through the list with the guys, and they're like, "Oh man, this stuff's just like it's too heavy or whatever," and eventually they find a beer that they really really like and say, "Man, this is awesome." And so I'd recommend some other brands for them and say, "Okay, go try this one and this one and this one. Those are really good." And then summer would come around, and they'd go buy their 30-pack of Coors Light, and I would get that phone call. Be like, "You asshole!
Yeah.
I cannot drink cheap beer anymore. This stuff tastes like trash." And I'm like, "You've been converted, bro."
Yeah. Oh, there you
There you
go.
go.
Conversion.
Yeah.
So
That's funny. Not that we're gonna turn away Coors Light
No,
if they
no,
want to
no.
sponsor
No.
Exactly.
the podcast. That's still all right.
If they want to roll up and give me a shirt, I'm in. If it's snacks, you need a Coors Light shirt.
Yep. Okay. Here we
Oh,
go.
here we go.
We already talked about how you came up with the flavors. Anything new coming out soon? Any new beer flavors, any food, any events that you have going on that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we always have new beers coming out. So we have, like you guys were talking about, beers running out.
Mhm.
So we have about 4 or 5 beers that we keep on all the time. Those are our kind of house standards, and everything else rotates. And we just like to play with things, try new flavors, change with the season a little bit. Like
Yeah.
summertime, this last winter we had, I don't know, at one point I think we had 6 different stouts on or something like that. Summertime we usually have 1 or 2, and
Mhm.
which kind of surprises me. I don't really drink stout much in the summer. It's pretty heavy, but we have a following for that Mission Stout that I cannot let that run out or I hear about it. And they drink it all through summer. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, some of the new things we've got coming out. We did No Looking Back again. It's in the tank. That is kind of one of our summer beers. And yeah,
You
we
had
also let's see,
Oktoberfest?
we've got Oktoberfest in the
Mhm.
tank right now, which to most people that seems really strange to have it when it's classically released in September, but it's a lager and it takes to do it correctly. It takes a very long time. So we do
Wow.
it in the spring, just like they used to in Germany, and let it lager all summer, and then bring it
Don't they
out.
drink beer for breakfast in Germany?
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
don't we
Why-
drink
why
beer for
not?
breakfast here?
No, well,
Yeah.
I would, but she won't let me. She won't let me.
Yeah,
do it.
that's true.
Yeah, she
He'll be passed out on
Yeah.
the couch by noon.
So No Looking Back, I try to brew that every summer. It's a goza, and it's just a classic like Leipzig style goza. Which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a wheat beer that's slightly sour and has salt added to it.
Mm.
And so I usually take it when I go to events in the summertime. I take probably half my coolers full of that because my friends call it either breakfast beer or they call it we call it the Gatorade of beer because it's very refreshing and it has it's salt to
The
replace.
salt in it,
Yep,
is that-
yeah.
Oh,
So when
that's
we
cool.
wake up the next morning, you get through. We wake up in the morning after drinking. Usually we all crack one and go at it.
Nice.
So
Okay, somebody has to get through.
We're gonna take a no. Actually, go ahead, Matt. Just step on out.
Okay, well, just
We're
go
gonna
ahead
keep
and
this
let.
going. Here we go.
Okay, there we go.
That's,
Real action going on right now.
I can edit later.
Nah, leave it.
Oh, he'll be back in a second.
Here we
too.
go.
Here we go. Here we go. What are you getting?
What are you gonna?
Dough.
Dough.
Got pizza dough.
Dough. Thank you.
No problem.
Have a great
And who
day.
was that? What was
That was my son, Josh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's when he's like, "Dad, get out of the way."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't care if you're on the thing. Get out.
All right, so I have a final question.
No. No question.
Yeah. Do you ever get tired of Bigdog coming in here all the time? That's my main
Well,
question.
I don't have to serve him, so I
That's true.
I get to sit and drink with him. So I think the answer is no. I don't.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
All
I
right.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give a quick plug real quick. You guys asked if there's events. Summer
Yes,
Bands and
yes,
Brews is an event that
yes.
my wife and I started years ago, and we now do it in collaboration with the Lebanon Downtown Association. But we're probably, I think we're the only brewery in Oregon that has we're adjacent to a city park, and we have space in the city park where we serve beer.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a normal thing, but
No.
and so for events we rent the whole park and we do events out there, and this is one of them, Summer Bands and Brews. If you guys like to have listen to live music and drink beer, you should come down. It's Saturday nights in July and August, and good time.
Awesome.
We'll probably be there.
Yeah. So in
Yeah,
August,
yeah.
isn't there supposed to be like some pinup contest or something?
There is.
Also,
Yes.
that Bill was talking. And
She's
I'm
in
gonna
the
do
pinup.
it. I'm
Okay.
gonna do it.
I made my wife do it last year.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. They loved it.
Well, Bill can't wait till she does it. I'm all, wait a minute. What are you looking at?
Hey.
So last year they were talking about doing some First Friday events, and
Mhm.
I said let's do a pinup contest, and there was this huge like month-long discussion about, oh well, you're sexualizing women, and like, oh well, what about the people that aren't like super skinny and like all this, and I'm like, you guys obviously don't understand what pinups are.
No.
No.
It is not about sexualizing women. Women can be pinups, men can be pinups, anyone else can be a
I
pinup.
could be a pinup.
And it does not matter your size or shape.
Right.
All people are good looking, and
You're damn
that's
right.
part of what I love about pinups is
Mhm.
you just dress up and look your best, and it's great. It's really, really, I don't know, like freeing almost.
I would like to offer you a job, Matt, as our public relations
Yeah.
person.
We need it because of
We need
Bigdog.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say when pinup started too, that was what, the 30s, 40s, 50s,
Yeah,
whatever.
World War II-ish, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea of beauty and skinny was different
Yes, very much
than
so.
now. So you could be thicker and have bigger hips.
And typically they were.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course,
yes,
and maybe not
yes.
shave or anything. I mean, who knows?
No.
Yeah.
I hope
but-
you shave up. I hope you do. I hope you
It
do.
could be kind of a longer dress, maybe knee down.
Yeah, give it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the whole idea was different than it would
Yeah.
be now. It's not like Playboy,
Yep.
where they want you to be super skinny
Man,
and all that kind of
I
stuff.
remember that magazine.
And I've seen I've seen pinups that are very scantily clad, and I've also seen them that are very, very, very covered and very,
Yeah.
very nice. So
Yeah.
it goes all ways, and that's what. So after the conversation, everybody said, you know what, I guess we can do this. This should be fine. And everybody just, I mean, it was one of the funnest events we ever had. It was really awesome. It was cool.
I'm
Really
doing
cool.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
doing it in
No,
August.
you're not.
Yes,
No,
I am.
no,
Big
you're
Dog
not.
should do it too.
I should. Oh no, dude. I'm 62. What the hell am I gonna do that?
No, you're not 62 yet.
Yeah, I am.
Well, didn't Martha Stewart just do a spread? She's like 80 something, right? 84 or 82 or something. Yeah.
You said spread.
Well,
Snoop Dogg's
do you
take
want?
care of that.
Oh gosh, yeah. Martha's probably
Let's get
helping him
back-
grow his weed better
Let's
because
get
she's
back.
now her
Those guys
gardening
get-
tips.
Get back to the beer. Get back to the beer.
All right, fine. I was gonna say something else, but okay, we'll stop. But yeah, great beer. We love coming down here.
Thank you.
Great atmosphere. You guys are great. Everybody who works here is awesome.
Yep.
Good food. The pizza that Big Dog brought me last time that you made with love. I could tell.
It
Thank you.
was.
It
It was.
tasted really
It
good.
was really good.
It was
So if you're
great.
drinking down there, bring me some pizza.
Yeah.
All right.
But anything else that you want to? Anything that's going on? If you
Anything
wanna
happening? Or
Shout out to anybody. Your son. We saw him right now.
Yeah, I mean, just at this point, I think shout out to my employees. Like, we've got a lot of good employees down here, and at this point in time, it's kind of hard to find good employees
You know
or
what, Matt?
employees whatsoever. Period.
You know what,
So-
Matt? You
True.
really have some good people
So,
here.
Yeah.
Really
uh,
nice people.
And what makes this place so amazing is the employees we have. Like, I can only do so much myself, and they're what makes up the company. So yeah.
Yeah.
They are very cool.
Yeah.
They're very cool. They've always been very professional and very nice, and got me really drunk a few times. So,
Yes. Yeah.
times.
Edit that part out.
She's all just call me. I'll come get you. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, God.
we've seen him.
Brittany just put me in a dumpster. I'm fine.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Matt, for
Absolutely.
taking time to
Appreciate
come in here and
Yeah.
talk with us and everything. And
Actually giving us an opportunity to come to your
Yes.
establishment and do what we do. So we do appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think
So-
it's time for a shot of slang.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
So
it.
if anyone's in Lebanon, Oregon, come to Conversion. Good food, good beer, good people.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.